This design calls for entrance through a gate here, down and around, along a crushed granitic pathway, and leads up to a fire pit area. You may notice this white line appearing here, and it's annoying because it also appears as a line here. I'll take off line weight. So there's also that line there. So we really want to, if we go back to the model, we want to eliminate that line. And this granitic area here consists of, click that twice, a polyline, and there's another polyline here. So we have two polylines, both the same colour, both with a fill and forming that part, but we're left with that awkward line. If we try and cut it, then we'll destroy the whole polyline. What I've done is move both polylines onto a layer called ltemp, and if we now go to tools and isolate layers, we've got this layer now that I use quite often for this sort of hack, and we've isolated the layer, so there they both are. What I'm then going to do is to explode them. That means break every part up into one, and we need then to, and you can see the slightly awkward angles. And I suspect that that polar wasn't on when this drawing was being worked through. So what we want to do now is trim that section out. So modify and trim. So we're now going to trim that object using these as the cutting edge. So we'll do it in two steps. Repeat the trim, select the edge objects, cutting edge is that one, and the object to trim off is that one there. Well, let's do it again. Let's pick the trim. The cutting edges should be this one and this one, and right click. The object to trim is this one in the middle, and out it goes. It took rather a lot out, so I can just put in another line. Well, I now want to draw that line in, and because we've isolated this, we now need to switch to working on layer temp, so we make it current. Everything else was turned off, so now we should be able to do a line from there to the end point there, and in it goes. So we're working now on that layer, on that temp layer. We grab them all, and we should be able to join them. And it looks to me as though they have joined correctly. So now we can come back here and we can say, let's make, to be safe, layer 0 as common, and we'll just say put all use layers on. Everything comes back, and now we should be able to select the polyline. Notice it's come through here. Actually, I don't need that hatch, and I can pick the polyline now. I've still got a little line segment in there which I need to deal with. Maybe let's try and deal with that first. It's actually a polyline running right around that garden bed area, and I'm not sure whether that's absolutely necessary. Explode it, and then we try and take that bit out in the same way as we did before. So we'll modify and trim. The cutting edges, we hope, will be this nearly vertical line. That in itself is interesting. We have a line running through there which we don't need. So it wasn't the polyline at all. So now when we pick the polyline, it runs all around the area of interest, and we can reset its color, which is fine. Let's put it back on layer 0 and let's fill it, and we'll send it to the back. And I think we've achieved our aim. And if we come back here, it was very long-winded, but we now got rid of that line through there, and I think we'll probably give the polyline now a border. We'll say yes, it has a border. I think the original drafter wants to have a dark line outlining it. Let's have another look. Back in our layout space, that looks fine. This line here is caused by the use of the construction layer, and that will disappear. The same as the dimension layer. I'll need to turn that off. You notice we're grouping all the layers that we work with the prefix L'. So it's a long-winded way of showing this, and it would be far better, of course, to start your polyline over here, work around there, go into arc mode, back into line mode, arc mode, line, come around here and do it all in one go. But you can manage it and clean it up, and that's best done by isolating the two polylines, exploding them, selecting them all and joining them.